Hey everybody, Zeal Brothers here once again with another video. And this one in response to the Real Housewives host, Sarah Jessica Parker. And she says she gets a lot of misogynist chatter. And the reason that she says that is because she gets comments about her age that would never happen to men in the industry. And she said this: Andy Cohen has a full head of gray hair and he's exquisite. Why is it okay for him? And I have an answer to her: because he's a man. Now, here's the thing, and a lot of people don't like this, but it is simply true. Men and women are not the same. That is just a fact of life. And one of the things that we are not the same in is that we are not attracted to the same things in each other, and our attractiveness to each other is not reflective. And here's what I mean by that. Men love women who have slim figures, right? In other words, slim stomachs, slim muscles. Now, we like curves in other places, but the point is that when you look at the average female arm, you don't want big, bulgy muscles. But women do like strong muscles. And the reason for that is you could look at it and say our standards for beauty are completely different. Here's another one. Men love younger women, right? But women might be attracted to younger males, but oftentimes when you find the models who they end up with rich guys, accomplished guys, powerful guys. Because for some reason, power in men is very sexually attractive to women. And so is money. And really, money and power are pretty much similar things. So when you look at women, they are really attracted to those things. But I can tell you, it doesn't matter how much power Hillary Clinton had, it wasn't going to attract me. It's just not going to change the game for me. So for a lot of women, they are attracted to status and money, and that is simply the way it is. That is why we've always had the thing of a rich billionaire with a model around his arm, right? We've always had the thing of prostitution. And when you look at something like prostitution and you look at it, you'll notice that it is almost always men buying prostitutes. And you may say to me, Brian, what about male prostitutes? Well, here's the thing about male prostitutes. Most of those are bought by men too. Right? So we're not proportional. We're not proportional on our sexual needs or our sexual desires or our sexual hunger. We are simply not, right? So even when you look at male prostitution, it's more gay men buying those than are women. If you look at the pornography industry, it is funny how much more a woman performer will get than a male performer. If I could put performer in quotations, because I got a lot to say about the industry. But the point is that when you look at people who are paid to do these things, men will take less for the same work. Why? Because for them, part of it probably is the pleasure of doing it, right? They don't need as much money to do it. And there are more men who are willing to get in that industry than there are women that are willing to get into that industry. So just economics will tell you that. So when you talk about Sarah Jessica Parker and her getting gray hair, that will be something that people will bring up. Why? Because women, even women, focus more on the beauty of women. That is simply a fact. Women focus on aging and things like that. You look at a commercial. And you look at the commercials that men pay attention to and the ones that women pay attention to. And the women always have these shampoo commercials. They will always have these lotion commercials where their skin is just radiant. Water is just splashing for no reason, right? And then what are the male commercials? They are the beer commercials. They are the car commercials, etc. And so when you look at just what men and women are, we are simply different. And so we should not be expected to be treated the same. The only reason we expect to be treated the same is because modern society has messed things up to such a point that we can mistake common sense things like this as a problem. And a lot of times you'll hear people say, well, you know, if a man does this, nobody says anything. But if a woman does that, it's all of a sudden a problem. Well, the same thing. It doesn't matter what situation it is. There are always issues like that, right? If a man said if he caught his woman cheating on her, he just punched her right in the face, nobody would laugh at that. That would be considered abuse. If a woman says that, that could be a comedy bit. And the thing about it is, why? Because we do not think a male victim is serious. Whether that should be the way it is or not, that's simply the way it is. A man getting beat up is comedy. A woman getting beat up is tragedy. And that's just how we've always seen it. Part of it has to do with our nature as human beings, right? Men always have this instinctive nature to protect women. Women also have this instinctive nature to protect women. And men are always competing with each other. Women are more communal. And so we just have these desires and realities that, you know, no amount of modernism, no amount of trying to change the way we think is really going to change that behavior. So truth of the matter is that Sarah Jessica Parker, she can be mad at it, but it's simply reality. Just the same reality as a 60-year-old billionaire can get more ladies than a 6-year-old model actress could get more men. It is simply a fact. And that's just how it is. You don't have to like it, but that is the way it is.